Virginia is one of the oldest states in America, and with its long history comes more than just tales of heroes and battles. It also carries whispers of restless spirits. From colonial mansions where ghostly figures still roam to Civil War battlefields echoing with phantom gunfire, these haunted locations aren't just stories told around campfires. They're backed by centuries of sightings, strange happenings, and eerie legends that make visitors shiver even on warm summer nights. Number 1. Ferry Plantation House looks like a quiet museum today, but it sits on land steeped in centuries of history and sorrow. Over the years, the site served many purposes as a Native American hunting grounds, the third courthouse of Princess Anne County, a plantation, a schoolhouse, a tavern, and a post office. Its current brick house was built around 1830 using the remains of a burned-down 1751 mansion. One of the most enduring spirits is Grace Sherwood, the Witch of Pungo. In 1706, she was accused of witchcraft and subjected to ducking in nearby waters as her trial. Her conviction marked her as the only person in Virginia found guilty of witchcraft. Today, many believe her ghost still wanders the grounds or appears near the water, and her memory is honored by local festivals. Another spirit is Sally Rebecca Walk, who lost her fiance in the Revolutionary War and planted a magnolia tree in his honor. She is said to wander the gardens, still waiting for him to return. The ghost of Henry, a former enslaved man who lived in the slave quarters on the third floor, appears in the house. Visitors and caretakers have seen him emerge from the basement, kneel in front of a wall, then disappear. Children's spirits are also active. Many have seen a little girl, likely Bessie McIntosh, who died around age 5, and a young boy named Eric, who fell from a window in the mid-1800s. Both are spotted near the staircase landing, sometimes pressed against the wall or heard giggling. These layers of history blend with recorded EVP whispers, cold spots, and strange happenings, giving the Ferry Plantation House its haunting reputation. Number 2. Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond is beautiful and quiet by day, but its long history and many sad events help explain why people call it haunted. The cemetery opened in 1849 and became the final resting place for thousands, Confederate soldiers, presidents, and everyday people. When a place holds so many memories of loss, it is easy to see why visitors sometimes feel that the past has not completely left. One of the oldest and strangest stories is the Richmond vampire. After a tunnel collapse in 1925, workers told of a burned and horribly injured man who ran toward the river and then disappeared into the cemetery. Over time, the tale shifted into a vampire legend. People say they have seen a scary figure walking near the mausoleum of W. Poole, and this started a vampire legend that still exists today. The grave of a 3-year-old girl named Reese is guarded by a cast-iron dog statue. Visitors claim to see the girl playing, hear a dog bark, or notice the statue's position change inexplicably. Near the Confederate pyramid, people have heard soft, sorrowful moans and felt sudden cold chills, especially at dawn or dusk, as if restless soldiers still linger. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Hollywood Cemetery's mix of real history, tragic accidents, and many repeated eyewitness reports fuel its haunted reputation. Number 3. Crawford Road in the Yorktown-Williamsburg area carries more than just quiet asphalt, it carries stories. By day, it looks like any winding rural lane. But beneath its surface, the local legends, tragedies, and unexplained experiences form a haunting chorus that draws people in, and sometimes sends them running. Some of the oldest stories tell of a bride in white forced into marriage. Overcome with grief, she supposedly hanged herself from the bridge that arches above Crawford Road. Drivers passing under at night sometimes see her ghostly figure through their rearview mirror, swaying silently against the darkness. There are also reports of energy-draining encounters when cars stop beneath the bridge and the engine turns off, batteries suddenly die and lights flicker. In some stories, the ghostly bride appears to replay her fall with a chilling thump on the car roof as if her body struck it. Some claim to hear distant, sorrowful cries, or muffled sobbing, especially around the bridge at dusk. The sounds seemed to come from nowhere and vanish as mysteriously as they appeared. Number 4. The elegant Martha Washington Inn and Spa may feel inviting during the day, but its past weaves through layers of history as a private residence, women's college, Civil War hospital, and now a grand inn. The emotional echoes of its past seem to linger in its halls. A ghostly nurse named Beth is the most famous spirit tied to the inn's Civil War past. She fell in love with a dying Union officer, Captain John Stoves, and comforted him by playing the violin in room 403. After he died, she caught typhoid fever and passed away just a few weeks later. Guests say they sometimes hear soft violin music at night or feel as if she is close by. Another haunting tale speaks of a reappearing bloodstain. A Confederate soldier was caught visiting his girlfriend, shot, and died on the inn's floor. Even though the floors and carpets have been changed many times, the dark stain still shows up, as if it refuses to go away. Beyond the walls, a phantom horse is seen roaming the grounds on moonless nights. Believed to belong to a fallen Union soldier from 1864, it quietly awaits its owner's return. These stories give the Martha Washington Inn its haunting reputation. It's a place where history lives on in whispers, footprints, and melodies that refuse to fade. Number 5. St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford, Virginia, looks peaceful from the outside, but its past is full of pain and sadness. It started in 1892 as a Lutheran boys' school on a hill overlooking the New River. Life there was far from gentle. Students faced bullying, harsh punishments, and even tragic suicides. Some say the emotional suffering from those early years never left the building. In 1916, the property became a psychiatric hospital under Dr. J.C. King. His goal was to create a more positive, social environment for patients. There were games, farm work, and even a bowling alley. But like many mental hospitals of the time, treatments were harsh by today's standards. Many never recovered, and some died during these procedures. The echoes of those losses seem to linger in the walls. One of the most talked about areas is the old hydrotherapy room, sometimes called the suicide bathroom. Visitors often report feeling a sudden chill or being touched by unseen hands. Some believe these experiences are connected to the patients who ended their lives there. In the basement bowling alley, people say two spirits are active. One is believed to be Allie, the young daughter of a patient, and the other, Gina Renee Hall, a woman who was murdered nearby in 1980. Guests often hear footsteps, balls rolling, or faint laughter when the room is empty. Another group reported seeing shadow figures moving quickly down the stairs. They also recorded unexplained sounds and voices in parts of the hospital when no one was present. Some visitors have claimed that mysterious scratches and burns suddenly appear on their skin, with no known cause. Number 6. The Peyton Randolph House in Williamsburg feels like a place that keeps its old stories close. Built in stages from about 1715 and home to the powerful Randolph family, the house saw war, illness, and sorrow through 3 centuries. The house's long history of death, children lost, and harsh events is part of why people believe spirits remain there. People who walk past the Randolph house at night tell simple, chilling tales of unexplained knocks on empty rooms, curtains moving though no breeze blows, and cold touches on the shoulder. One old story says the French General Lafayette, while visiting, felt an ice-cold hand grip his shoulder and heard noise coming from empty rooms, a story often told on local ghost tours and in retellings of the house hauntings. A visitor once photographed what looked like a man's face in a window. The image turned up on tour pages and became one of the most shared photos connected to the house. Guests on ghost tours report a soft, lonely singing heard in the courtyard late at night with no source found when they searched. Some accounts tell of a gentle, single knock heard from within the house windows after the tour had left. Several witnesses said they heard the same tapping in short bursts. The mix of documented past and repeated witness stories is why many believe the Peyton Randolph house remains one of Williamsburg's most haunted sites. Number 7. The Exchange Hotel in Gordonsville feels like a quiet old place, but its past is full of sorrow and weight, and that is the main reason people say it is haunted. Built in 1860 next to a busy rail junction, the hotel became the Gordonsville Receiving Hospital during the Civil War. In less than a year, the hospital treated thousands of wounded men brought straight from battle by train. Hundreds died nearby, and many were buried on the grounds. That history of pain and hurried medicine left a strong imprint on the building. Visitors and staff often hear soft voices and whispers where no one stands. Paranormal teams and tour groups report EVPs and low, human-sounding murmurs in the stairwell and old patient rooms, the kind of sound people describe as soldiers calling out or nurses answering. These recordings and first-hand reports are often shared by local investigators. Many witnesses tell of seeing nurses in old dark uniforms moving through the halls at night. These black-clad figures glide by doorways, sometimes disappearing into walls or behind curtains. Some sightings are more personal. Employees and visitors report seeing the figure of Anna, believed to be a former enslaved woman connected to the hotel's long history. She is most often seen in the summer kitchen area, moving slowly, or felt as a presence near objects that later shift. Number 8. The Weems-Botts Museum in Dumfries looks small and calm, but its long life makes it feel heavy with memory. The house dates back to the 1700s and later became a museum that tells Dumfries' story. Because families lived there for generations, and because the town itself has seen fires, loss, and hard times, many people feel the building holds echoes of the past. People who visit often speak of everyday things behaving oddly. Books fall from shelves by themselves, small objects shift places, and a bedroom closet door is said to open on its own every day. These repeated, small happenings make guests feel watched or gently pushed by something unseen. The last family to live in the house, the Merchants, are named in many stories. Locals tell of Mamie and Violet Merchant as spirits still attached to the rooms where they live. Mamie, who died young, is linked with shy, childlike sounds, while Violet, who lived much longer, is tied to slower footsteps and a feeling of someone pacing the parlor late at night. These family stories keep the museum personal and sad, not just spooky. Paranormal investigators who have spent nights in the museum say they captured unexplained EVP whispers and strange audio that sound like someone answering in another room. Some recorded footsteps on an empty stairway and caught a door closing with no one nearby. Other teams photographed tiny orbs of light over family portraits and old furniture. These technical findings, added to many eyewitness memories, are why the Weems-Botts Museum is often named among Virginia's quietly haunted places. Number 9. The Cavalier Hotel in Virginia Beach looks grand by day, but its past is full of lives, losses, and strange reports that help explain why many people call it haunted. Built in 1927 as a luxury resort, it later served the Navy during World War II and has hosted presidents and movie stars. That long history, glamour mixed with wartime use and a few real tragedies, gives the hotel an atmosphere that some visitors say still holds echoes of the past. Guests and staff sometimes hear music from the old ballroom piano when no one is playing. Musicians once filled the room in the 1920s and 1930s, and several reports say the piano will play itself late at night, as if restless performers have returned. Several people have reported sudden phantom phone calls from the 6th floor when the hotel seemed empty. Night staff say the line rings, but when they answer, they only hear a faint jazz tune or distant voices. This odd habit has become one of the Cavalier's best-known mysteries. Some guests tell of seeing a uniformed man on the 6th floor staircase who fades when approached. This figure is often described as an African-American attendant from the hotel's past, appearing as if to warn or guide visitors away from something unseen. Whether you call these events hauntings, memories, or tricks of the mind, the hotel's mix of high society past, military use, and repeated eyewitness reports explain why many people leave the Cavalier feeling that history hasn't quite checked out. Number 10. Cold Harbor Battlefield looks silent now, but its dark history echoes with restless spirits. The battlefield was the site of one of the Civil War's most brutal struggles, where thousands were killed or wounded in just minutes during the overmatched assault by Union troops. Many soldiers were buried hastily or left unmarked, and the ground still seems to hold their anguish. It's no wonder that visitors often feel an unsettling presence there. Phantom gunfire, screams, and orders echo through the woods, especially in the quiet hours after dark. Many say they have also smelled smoke or sensed the distant hoofbeats of cavalry. Apparitions of full-bodied soldiers in uniform are often reported. Some appear to march in formation. A dense, unexplained fog or mist can suddenly fill parts of the battlefield, lingering only briefly, then vanishing just as quickly. At the nearby Garthright House, which served as a field hospital, a little girl's spirit is said to appear in a window dressed in white and a bonnet. She sometimes skips or runs around the adjacent cemetery. Another unsettling experience comes from visitors who report sulfur-like, burning odors lingering around the center of the battlefield, an unnatural scent so strong it raises goosebumps. Cold Harbor Battlefield is a place where history's sorrow still seems to breathe quietly among the trees. The battlefield doesn't just hold the past, it feels alive with it. Number 11. Henricus Historical Park stands today as a peaceful living history museum, but its land carries over 400 years of conflict and loss. The original settlement of Henricus was founded in 1611 and brutally destroyed in the 1622 Powhatan Uprising, where hundreds of English colonists died. Later, the area witnessed Revolutionary and Civil War violence, including a brutal naval clash during the Civil War around Dutch Gap. That layered history of tragedy helps explain why many believe the area holds restless spirits. One evening, a staff member glimpsed a colonial-dressed woman wandering just outside a building. When he opened the door, she was gone. By the time I got to the door, there was no one there, he recalls, deepening the sense that Henricus holds echoes of those early settlers. Paranormal investigators recorded eerie audio and visual evidence inside the historic buildings. EVPs include whispering and humming. In one striking image, a full-body shadow figure stands in a doorway. These unexplained experiences makes Henricus one of Virginia's most fascinating and haunting historic sites. Number 12. Bacon's Castle was built in 1665 by Arthur Allen. In 1676, during Bacon's rebellion, Nathaniel Bacon's followers took control of it. Over the years, it has seen conflict, slavery, and many changes. Because of this long and troubled past, many visitors say the place feels full of spirits. A widely reported phenomenon is the fireball or ghost light. Witnesses say a glowing orb travels from the ruins of Lawns Creek Church across the fields into the castle's grounds, then reverses course and fades away. Many claim to see the apparition of a woman in white, often near the stair tower or in the castle yard. Some say she plays with visitors' hair. Whether you view them as paranormal lore or echoes of difficult history, the tales remain powerful, reminding us how deeply the past can linger in places. Number 13. Gadsby's Tavern in Alexandria, Virginia, is more than just a well-preserved piece of early American history. It's a place where the past sometimes feels like it hasn't quite let go. The building, which hosted presidents like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison, still welcomes visitors today. But many say it also welcomes a very different kind of guest, one who never checked out. In 1816, a finely dressed man and a young woman arrived by ship in Alexandria. The woman kept her face hidden beneath a black veil. They rented a room at Gadsby's Tavern, where the man explained she was seriously ill and asked that no one inquire about her identity. Despite the best care, she died within weeks. The man, calling himself her husband, buried her in St. Paul's Cemetery under a tombstone that still reads, "To the memory of a female stranger," but her real name was never revealed. After her burial, the man vanished, leaving no answers. Since then, strange events at the tavern have been tied to her. The most famous sightings describe a veiled woman in 19th century clothing seen in the upstairs hallway or standing at a window, staring down into the street as if waiting for someone. She is often spotted in room 8, the room where many believe she died. Guests there have reported feeling watched, waking to see a shadowy figure at the foot of their bed, or hearing the faint sound of a woman